The champ is here! He's just the man! Oh, give me a hell yeah! What the rock? He's cooking. You beat the man! You have to beat the man! Big Papa Pump!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kyle Martinez-Bahi, and this is Rasslin Junkie, and you're probably scratching your heads thinking to yourself, another Rasslin Junkie? I thought this motherfucker was going to make it on Patreon exclusive only. I am sorry, but we have so much to talk about. We have a special guest, and that big sexy piece of chocolate is...
Philip Magana. Y'all know who the fuck I am already, shit.
And we have a special guest, and guess what? Yes, motherfuckers, we're diverse. We finally got a female on the podcast.
Yes.
Athena Finger didn't count for us when we interviewed her, but yes. How are you?
I'm good, Kyle. Thanks for having me.
And why don't you introduce yourself to these fine folks?
My name is Miss Melissa Perley, and I am honored to be here to give you guys a little bit of diversity.
Thank you, Miss Melissa Perley.
It looks like it is about time that there is some diversity from the sounds of it.
Yes, we've had people up and down like, why don't you have a female on the show or this and that? And I'm like, well, nobody really wants to ride with us, but, you know, we're here for Rasslin Junkie to talk wrestling, and you love wrestling, so...
That I do. That I sure do.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Roman Reigns. Go ahead, cringe, Kyle.
No,
you can cringe a
not
little
anymore.
bit. It's all right.
The man is fighting cancer, so my hate and all that has went out the window, because I can't do that no more.
But that's a hard question to ask, though, because throughout the years, it's been Shawn Michaels, it's been The Undertaker, it's been Stone Cold. At one point, it was even Kurt Angle. So, I mean, if you go back through the years, it's hard to have one favorite.
That's very true. That's very true.
And, you know, with Roman Reigns, I've hated the character, not the man. And it was just because he just shoved down our throats a lot. And
because he's so sexy that you can't stand it.
Yes.
Oh, girl, yes.
I knew it.
Oh, you know, shit. All that long, greasy ass hair, man.
It's not greasy, it's wet. Wet from hard work.
And
Even pre-match, huh?
I've had a lot of my Roman bashing. Miss Phil has heard all of it.
Oh, yes. Some hilarious shit, too.
He's told me to calm down. I also have an lost episode out there where I was drunk watching Fastlane.
Oh, my.
And the more, I was like, this is why I hate Roman Reigns. Take a shot. This is why I hate Roman. I didn't make it to the end of the match. I don't know. I don't remember what match it was. But.
Yo, he ends up calling me, this motherfucker, Philip. How much have you been drinking? A lot. Fuck him. I'm like, well, fuck him. Shit. I'm about to bust a spring, man.
Okay, but let's be real. Is that really Roman Reigns' fault, or was that Ben
It's the
Affleck
booking.
from when he was writing?
Yeah,
Let's be real.
That's very true.
But
I'm gonna hate on Ben Affleck all kinds, but not Ben Affleck. Not Ben
I was
Affleck.
like, wait,
it's that other white boy from the same time he married Sarah Michelle Gellar.
oh, Freddie Prinze Jr.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, when he
I'm
was writing?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember when, man, that's a while back when he was working for WWE. But we're going to talk the Royal Rumble. So what was your first initial thoughts?
Well, I was so happy, that Asuka and Becky kicked off the show. Because, man, that just, it sucked me in. I couldn't wait to watch the rest of it. It was so much better than some of the sleeper matches that they put at the beginning. A lot of it, I was really worried would be a little too predictable. Some was. Let's be real. Becky winning, definitely a little bit predictable.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, I know that everybody else thought that was going to happen. I really thought they were going to push Braun, and I'm really glad that they didn't go that way.
Same here. I thought they were going to push Braun. It's like, okay, you know, he's had his damn chance. He's choked, and to see, I honestly didn't know who was going to win the men's Rumble. I honestly didn't.
Neither. I was really, when Braun was, what was he, number 27?
Yeah.
Or 28? Going that late in the match, having him going in, I just thought that it was just going to be...
Yeah, I was talking to my wife, and my wife's like, well, is anybody predicted who's going to win the men's? I was like, honestly, no one cares about the men right now. Like, our focus was that, you saw that big pop Becky got when she came out, and it was like, the man, because we cared, you know, and this Royal Rumble, we're like, oh, here's Braun. He's gonna win. Then I was like, oh, here's Seth Rollins. I'm like, okay, I can go with this.
I did enjoy seeing Dolph Ziggler punching Nia Jax in the face. No, he kicked her. He kicked her.
She got her ass whooped.
That was happiness.
I gotta say, overall though, it was such a good show.
It really was.
A little long.
It was long, but lately, some of it has just kind of been disappointing a little bit. It's been kind of lackluster. I just keep waiting for Becky to come out, or Charlotte to come out, or hell, even the Iconics. Let's be real. I'm just like, give me something interesting.
I don't like their wrestling
Heard
skills.
him.
I love the Iconics so much. Because their mic skills are incredible. Their ring work sucks, but their mic skills.
Eyes. I love it when their eyes just like pop out. Alexa Bliss too. Gosh, that girl. She is the queen of reactions.
She is.
Or correction, the goddess.
The goddess.
Come on, guys.
Clarify.
She when she got in the Rumble, my wife popped so much. That's one of her favorites. And she's like, oh, is my girl back? Is my girl back? I was like, your girl's back, honey. And she's like, oh my God.
I don't think she's 100% ready, to be honest. The reason she stepped back is because of her injury. And she's scared. And I get that. I would be kind of scared too. I mean, not that Alexa Bliss ever going to go out there and say she's scared. She's going to go out there and talk some shit. But I would be scared too. That's her career. That's her life, So I definitely respect that she's trying to heal herself before going back in ring.
It's like what happened with Seth Rollins in his knee. When he blew out his knee, you saw how scared he was when he came back when he was working. Every minute I always saw his hand go to his knee. I knew he was trying to sell it in a sense and this and that, but I could tell.
Part of it's real. And we'll look at Candice Michelle. I mean, this is a way throwback. But from her first injury, when she had her neck injury, she never recovered from it. That was her career ender.
Yeah.
Because she was always scared after that. And so it's important. You got to take your time. You got to respect that. They're athletes. It's amazing what they do every day.
Except for Finn Balor.
Hey, shut your face.
No, when he came back.
Okay. Don't you talk about my boyfriend.
No, I like Finn Balor.
We will
when
have
he
words.
came back, he just dove right in. That's like he was never injured, or he didn't care he was injured. He's like, okay, I'm off. I'm done being injured. Let me get me in there. And he's gone full steam.
Even that match with Brock and Finn, I liked it. Everyone's like, oh, Brock. I was like, everyone knew Brock wasn't going to lose the title then and there.
Of course. Brock is going to WrestleMania. He wasn't going to lose to anybody before then.
But I heard, though, what I give respect and props to Brock is he picked Finn.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I guess he didn't want to fight Braun because he says it's boring. Why do I want to fight Braun? I've been having great matches with an AJ Styles. I've been having great matches with a Daniel Bryan, with these little guys where it's much more fun. But I didn't when fucking Brock hit his dick.
Oh, that man.
Oh my.
just his face was like some of the best memes I have seen from Brock Lesnar's face when his eyeballs were popping out. He's like, just get me out of this match.
I cheered for the table. I cheered for the table. When he hit his little PPI, boy, I was like, yes, finally.
Oh, poor Sable. She's the one that was really hurt from that.
I know. I'm just like, boy, I will divorce you.
She's getting it from the side. She is.
Oh, boy.
Hey.
But no, overall, even the 205 Live match was incredible. I was like, 205 Live, and all of a sudden, I was talking, we had our little get together, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, whoa, that was a cool spot. Oh, then just sat there glued watching the 205 Live match for the Cruiserweight title. I can give a damn about that title because that title really doesn't mean anything nowadays.
It used to. Man, it used to, though.
And it's purple. Ugh.
Eek. This is not the Divas title. Come on. Oh, can we just say, while we're talking about titles and belts and whatnot, thank God they do not have that stupid purple butterfly title anymore in the women's division.
Thank you. She was...
There's a lot of talk right now about the different titles and the different designs and everything, thanks to your boy Daniel Bryan, who I hate, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. I feel about Daniel Bryan how you used to feel about Roman Reigns.
Man made a hemp title. Enough said. That was one of the greatest. Like, I was watching, I was like, oh, they threw the title in the trash. Wait a minute. Is he going to have some hippy dippy bullshit? Oh,
He sure
he
did.
just made his hippy dippy bullshit title. Yes.
It's a shame he's gonna lose it. No,
I-
he's not going to for a while. But a girl could hope. A girl could hope.
But going into Mania now, now we got Becky and Ronda is official. We have Brock versus Seth official. So we have both Royal Rumble winners. What I don't like is there's 2 pay-per-views still. We got Elimination Chamber and we got
Fastlane.
Fastlane. Yeah. That's annoying. I remember back in the day when there was no pay-per-views. You had the Royal Rumble, then you had 2 months to build up to WrestleMania.
They have so many pay-per-views now. When I was a kid, it used to be a really big deal. Like, we would plan out who was going to get the pay-per-view at their house and start hitting our parents up for money like a month in advance. Now it's every single month. And thank goodness for the WWE Network. $9.99 a month, I can watch every pay-per-view. But the reason they can make it so affordable is because there's just not that much anticipation and build-up for them anymore.
True.
It's almost the same people over and over and over again.
And like you were saying, lackluster on pay-per-views. Lackluster of like just this because there's so many
Like filler matches.
Oh,
what are you doing?
Filler pay-per-views. It was like Crown Jewel, then
Gosh, don't get me started on Crown Jewel.
I wanna
What
hear
a
this.
monstrosity. Good Lord. The reason that failed so terribly is because the women weren't allowed to wrestle because it was, where was that? Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia.
there was a good thing out of it though.
No women were allowed to wrestle, and no
we
wonder
got
they got no
WWE
ratings.
Evolution.
Yes, we got Evolution.
That pay-per-view was amazing.
That was amazing.
It
I
was
agree.
so dope seeing my daughter and my wife in awe of all women's pay-per-view, and it broke my heart. It warmed up my heart because it was like my daughter's like Asuka and Becky. She was like she was rooting for Becky to kick Charlotte Flair's ass. She was just like beat her.
What was funny is that Evolution, I was still Team Flair.
I'm always Team Flair. Charlotte is.
It's hard to not go for Charlotte Flair. I mean, wow.
Except somebody else over here.
Fuck her.
See?
That's how I feel about Ric Flair. But Charlotte's a whole different story. And David Flair, we're not even going to start with that. But
Don't get started because I'll sit here all day about his old sorry ass.
Yeah. But no,
but he
Charlotte.
did give us Tori Wilson. You don't
That's
remember
very
that?
true.
Back
Yeah.
WCW.
Oh, yeah.
He was one who introduced Tori Wilson. Mm-hmm. So only thing that we can say positive about the men in the Flair family is that they gave us Tori.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but with the pay-per-view now, and rumor was like, oh, they're gonna add Charlotte to the Ronda and Becky match, and I was like, no.
I really
no.
hope they don't.
I hope they don't either.
That's an insult to both of them, to all 3 of them, really. Charlotte should have, my hopes, fingers crossed, is Charlotte and Asuka rematch WrestleMania.
Oh my God, you
If
just
they
read.
do- If they do, oh man.
Because Asuka's performance at Rumble, like, damn, I forgot about Asuka for a minute. I really did. And all this other drama that they have going on, all these other fantastic women, I almost forgot about Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
Big mistake.
Well, her streak from NXT to there, then all of a sudden, I was like, she's gonna win the title, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, the streak's broken. I'm like, well, where are we going from here?
But you know what, though? Let me take it one step further. If I really had my way, 100% had my way, and I know everybody wants Becky and Ronda for the Rumble, or for WrestleMania, I would love to see Asuka be the one to end Ronda's streak.
That doesn't.
Ronda and Asuka at WrestleMania, like, that, I know it's probably never going to happen, but that would have been so sweet. That would be so
Originally,
sweet.
from what I read from booking wise, it was going to be Charlotte and Ronda. They had this plan a year in advance, but then the growth of Becky this year
The complete unanticipated growth
Yeah.
of Becky. Damn, that girl just stole the show.
to
she
breaking her nose and looking like a badass. Well,
Oh my, man, and she didn't even get any blood on her shirt. Like, how do you do that?
And she took it like a champ.
and then
Smiled.
She was like, yeah.
the man gimmick. My wife was confused. I was like, because I didn't get it for a bit. I was like, the man. I was like, okay. Then I was like, oh, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So she beat Charlotte Flair. And now, and you know, it's just like the name has so
light bulb, ding, 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 ding.
like then my brother went to the Rumble. I'm like, you get me the man shirt. So he got me one. So
Nice.
I'm just like, I love you, Becky, because I've always loved Becky as she was going. I really didn't like the steampunk stuff. I really didn't like a lot of the stuff she was doing and how she was just kind of put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's earned her way to where she's at now.
Oh gosh, she didn't even give him a chance to tell her she couldn't do it. They gave her one tiny little push,
And she went for it.
and she just took it. She just grabbed it. She owned it. Her success is not due to any writing. It's not due to any booking. It's not due to any other performer. It's because Becky went out there and became the man.
Yes. I
Like
agree.
100%.
You know, and on the flip side of that, from the women to men, I think Seth's gonna slay the beast.
I hope so.
Me too.
I don't like Brock Lesnar.
Thank you. Neither do I.
I
love
never
Brock Lesnar.
have liked Brock Lesnar. I just don't think a man should be that size and be competing against
Or that pink and red.
or that pink or red. And thank goodness for Paul Heyman, because without him, there's no way he could.
Spoiler. I was putting 2 and 2 together from the paper on everyone's like, who you gonna pick? Triple H was like, well, who you gonna pick? Brock, or are you gonna pick Daniel Bryan, and blah blah blah. And then when the crowd clicked it in my head when they're like, slay the beast, and I was like, he is the Kingslayer from defeating Triple H. He could be the beast. One of those little light bulbs go off in my head. I was like, oh my goodness. That's how I know WWE is going to progress, by saying Seth is the next face of the company. Next to
Right.
Becky. Because I've always believed Seth is always have been and always will be the next face. And I always thought that over Roman Reigns, because I think the way they were booking Roman Reigns, it was like, oh, well, he's the face, but everyone's cheering for Seth Rollins.
Well, I mean, they almost had no choice, really. So Roman's my boy. Don't, this is no insult to him, whatever. But if they went for in-ring skill, plus the ability to speak, amp up a crowd, to work with everybody equally, then Seth Rollins is the obvious choice for the face. But with Roman Reigns' size, with his in-ring ability, with everything else, I mean, the fact that he can't really speak or, whatever, kind of was pushed aside because he was the obvious winner.
Yeah.
Put him next to Seth, and it's almost like, how could we really go for anybody but Roman Reigns?
And the best thing, I think the best feud that I wish that was a WrestleMania, because I know they just did it just to attract people to it, was John Cena versus Roman Reigns, because their promos, I felt John pulled a little bit out of them, because we've talked about it, how John, come on, is that all you got?
Yeah.
He's pushing,
him on blast
putting
right
him
there.
on blast. He goes, and just like the other night when John Cena was there and Drew McIntyre came out and he says, oh, John Cena, blah, 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 pebble, fruity pebbles, blah, 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 blah. And John's like, this is why I left. None of y'all can say anything original. And I was like, damn!
I saw that, and the look on Drew McIntyre's face, he was like, oh, shit. They're going to bump me down, man. Come on. Give me no chance.
And, with your boy Roman, he's going to be in the new Fast and Furious spinoff, Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, I wish that was enough to make me watch another Fast and Furious spinoff.
I saw the
but
trailer.
it's
Did you
just
see
not.
the trailer today?
Oh, I saw the trailer.
The trailer was bad ass.
God, I squealed like a little girl.
I haven't watched the Fast and the Furious after the first one.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, a lot.
At least she's honest.
Yeah.
But the first one was just so good. I mean,
It gets better after
I tried
4.
I tried to watch Tokyo Drift.
No,
I did
that's the
try.
wrong place you should
And I
start.
was just like, oh no, this is why I don't watch sequels.
4, 5,
Done
6,
and
7.
done.
They did them right. Put it
They
that way.
they
did
stepped
them
up their games. Like
Oh,
if you start with 4, because the way they did it was weird. It was 4, 5, and 6, and 7 was a prequel to Tokyo Drift. Was that? Yeah, it was.
Yep.
I don't know. It was weird. It was like, oh, these took place before Tokyo Drift. And I was like, then why'd you give me Tokyo Drift, not give me these movies? But no, if you go back and watch them, because I was like that too. I saw Fast and Furious. I saw 2 Fast and Furious. Then I saw Tokyo Drift, and I'm like, I'm out. You know, because they're like, there's a fourth one. I'm like, okay, now you're just milking the thing. Then I went back and rewatched them. I'm like, oh, I love these movies. Yeah, I love these movies now. But Roman Reigns getting a little bit of shine from The Rock and being in the movie, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And Roman is going to beat leukemia, and he will be back.
And when he gets back, you imagine the pop.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to cry. I mean, I cry about everything, but I'm definitely going to cry about that.
You can tell in the trailer he is going through his therapy right now, because he's not muscular like he was. He's actually kind of chubby.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's actually kind of chubby. His face is kind of a little swole up and everything. I'm like, oh well, hey, at least you're out there doing it. You're out there doing it. He looks good in the movie, along with his other real life cousins and brothers. Yeah, Rock brought in his whole family, pretty much.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and and with that, so far. Oh, I forgot to ask you. What do you think of the tag team titles, the women tag team titles?
Iconics.
You want them to win it?
I want the Iconics to win it. I know. But they are the only, and this is the reason why. I either want Iconics or Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. And the reason is because they are the only legitimate female tag team partners right now. Maybe Sasha and Bailey, but they're much bigger than that, let's be real.
Yeah, they are.
You know, they need to be in title matches. They need to be in single competition. That's where their strength is. But the Iconics are the one legitimate female tag team. Even the Riot Squad is a trio.
How would you feel if they brought back the Bellas?
Oh, God, the Bellas. They have always been a talentless group of girls. Like,
I felt like you were going to say something worse.
I was going to. I edited myself very much because...
What were you going to say? Okay, what were you going to say? Just say it.
There's some talentless bitches.
There you go.
Okay. They capitalized on the twin thing. They could have gone into wrestling or they could have gone into porn, and they chose wrestling.
Oh, whoa.
So, that's it.
But with the Bellas, we've gotten some great, like what Becky said to John, I'll drop you faster than Nikki Bella dropped you or something like that. And I was like, oh, that is awesome, you know. And John's cool with it. That's pretty cool. Like, John's like, yeah, whatever. I made a mistake.
We all make them. But I mean, I've never been a fan of them. I thought it was in poor taste when they very first joined WWE and they were hiding under the rings and tricking their way into getting title matches. And now they're just there to promote their TV show.
They got a lingerie line too, I believe.
Well, see, not too far off from my guesses, right? But I mean, they would show up for long enough for, Brie to probably cause a couple more injuries due to her inept wrestling skills.
Whoa.
And to promote their show, they might win, and then they would lose a week later and go back to E and continue shooting Total Bellas.
Yeah.
That's it. I would like serious competitors. I would like people who are actually dedicated to the company as a whole to win those titles. We need to get rid of some of these old timers. I know that that's probably not a popular opinion, but I'm tired of seeing them. I'm tired of watching them.
Right.
Like, there's so much young talent out there. Dana Brooks.
I like Dana.
I had never paid attention to before the Rumble. At the Rumble, I was like, damn, girl.
She got skill.
Like, why
look at all the skill coming from NXT.
Like, why are we spending so much time on these women who have already... They're making their lives elsewhere. Clearly their passion isn't in the ring anymore. Their passion is elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Let's make room for this new generation, these young women who have been dreaming about doing this their entire lives. Let's let them. You paved the road, quote unquote. I definitely think that it was more of the Sables and Candice Michelle's and Trish Stratus's, Kelly, Tori Wilson, Melina. Mm-hmm. Melina, my girl Melina. They were the ones who really were the trailblazers. The Bellas just happened to show up at a good time to capitalize it.
And on that, talking about the future, did you watch TakeOver?
No, I did not.
This is how I judge WWE pay-per-views now. When I watch TakeOver, I'm like, I love TakeOver so much. I was highly entertained and this and that. The Royal Rumble's gonna suck. That was my whole mindset because TakeOver was so good because he watched it too.
I sure did.
Yeah, I love NXT. I think NXT's like Velveteen Dream. That's my boy. I really Ricochet, Aleister Black, and a lot of it too is like we want to make way for this new talent, but with a certain person, Vince Kennedy McMahon, he likes his big guys. He likes bigger guys, and that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of that. I want the new generation to escalate into this because they have the passion for the business to when these old timers now are just collecting a big payday, like an Undertaker. No offense to Undertaker fans.
I love the Undertaker, but man, he really should have been done a couple WrestleManias ago. The fact that he still has more in his contract, it's sad for me. And he was my favorite growing up. Like, oh man, I love the Undertaker.
Like when he came back the next year after Roman beat him. And it was like, wait, then what was the point of him taking off his gear and taking off his hat? And the announcer's like, "Goodbye, Undertaker." Because I was like, all right, well, if you're gonna send him off like that, I guess let Roman Reigns win. I guess that's the rubbing shine, taking the pin or whatnot, doing the honors. That's what I was looking for. Doing the honors for Roman. Then like the next year he's back. I'm like. What?
Then the year after he's back again. Then he's back again. Then they're tag team action against DX. And I'm sorry, but on that note, you cannot call Triple H and Shawn Michaels DX. They are 2 members of DX. 2 out of 6.
Well, that's how they started.
No, X-Pac was right next to him too. And Kevin Nash, Scott Hall.
Oh, the Click. You're going back to the Click days.
I want
oh my God.
all of the Generation X. Yeah. Badass Billy Gunn. And what is...
Road
Dogg Jesse James. I should have known that. He was just on the other night.
Oh, you didn't know?
Your ass better ask somebody. All right.
Since you mentioned the Click, okay, do you know all the members of the Click? I'm going to hold my hand. Okay, go. Name them off.
All right, so it was Scott Hall, of course, Kevin Nash, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Road Dogg Jesse James, Badass Billy Gunn, Chyna.
You're missing one.
And I can't think of who it is for the life of me.
He was did you ever watch ECW?
I sure did.
He was in ECW. Matter of fact, bald head, kind of like the short version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was in WWE before. They always made fun of him because they said that he looked like he wore a jockstrap around his head. Yikes.
I don't know who it is. Oh, my.
Just incredible.
Oh, that's why, because I blocked that boy out. He paired up with, but he was with Angelina Love. He paired up with her for a while in ECW, and I never paid attention to anybody when Angelina Love was out.
Yeah.
Well,
let's be real.
That's all good.
To bring us home,
Oh wait, for one more note, women's titles. If they could bring Angelina Love and Madison Rayne, beautiful people.
Madison
oh my
Rayne
gosh!
Especially, oh boy.
That would make Melissa a happy wrestling fan.
That's awesome. Well, now I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry, Angelina Love will do that to a person.
With the wave of wrestling now, what have you heard about AEW?
Not very much. I wish I could say that I follow it as thoroughly as I used to, but I just don't have time to dedicate to all of it. I've heard the only thing that I've heard about AEW as of late is that Dean Ambrose is looking at signing now that he's getting out of his contract, and I think Maria Kanellis and her husband are looking as well. Especially since that they're going to release him from their contract after they made that mockery of Maria at the Royal Rumble, that they're letting him go.
And, with Chris Jericho signing with AEW, making a big statement for AEW, Hideo Itami, a.k.a. Kenta, when he first came into WWE, has asked for his release. There's also the Revival, who has requested their relief.
Which is a good call for their career. One. I did hear about that. I did. And I really think that it's the best move for their career. They're not being utilized in WWE very well.
Shit. That is a good move for them.
Yeah. So do you think, as a wrestling fan, because, we've all grown up with WWE. WWE is a household name.
Well, hell, I grew up WCW and
Yeah.
WWF.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit older than you, Kyle.
Well, I just said WWE in general just because
Yeah.
everyone forgets get the F out. Remember that?
Oh my gosh.
How stupid it was? Because of the pandas. But going to what it is now, what WWE, do you think AEW could be competition if everyone's not jumping ship, but people are being underappreciated?
Well, TNA tried to give them a run for their money. WCW couldn't hold a match. I just don't see. There's not competition for WWE. They have a monopoly on the market, and they're going to keep it that way.
You want to know what TNA's at right now? They're on Twitch.
Yeah,
They can't even get a TV deal.
Damn, really?
Yeah, they're turning. The company's turning around, but that's the problem. Is like if AEW is gonna actually be a real competitor, it needs to have a real television backing, like a USA Network, and the fact that Fox just paid billions of dollars for having SmackDown now on their TV. I go, that's the problem with a lot of these wrestling companies that are trying to build. It's because WWE has the backing of real television. Unlike, TNA, like, oh, well, we ran out of options. Let's go to Twitch. I ain't going to go sign up on Twitch just so I can watch Impact Wrestling.
Right.
And, like, oh, well, Ring of Honor's making waves because they got the Fight app. I'm like, yeah, but not many people know about apps or whatnot. There's still a lot of people who watch major television, and that's the problem. And
Well, the whole thing with wrestling is, and y'all might get a little testy with me about this one, but it's a soap opera. That's what it is. It is a soap opera with great athleticism. It's a soap opera with, great talent. But it's the story. It's the ratings. It's the network. It's what they put on. It's a big Titantron with all the balloons and the masks. And, it's hard to compare with that. It's hard to compete with such, something that just pulls you in. And you want to watch every week to find out what's going on and what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. If we could just rely on athleticism, then these other companies might have a chance.
And
No, that's very true. That's very true.
And WWE has made that statement of why they changed their name to entertainment. Because that's what it is. In a big way, WWE is a big soap opera with athleticism, like you said. It's a big soap opera in the sense of, like, we want to know what's going to go on. Sometimes, just like all soap operas, there's a lot of shows where you're like, okay, that was stupid. Why did I waste my 2 hours watching that, or this and that? There's disappointing moments. But like those past Royal Rumble, I was just like, hats off WWE. I don't know if you fired your creators or something like that. You took the same route that DC did when they fired everybody from DC movies, so you can restart this thing. So I'm okay with this.
I think it's a competition that they're feeling from now AEW, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now that they have a headquarters based in LA, they're selling out the LA Coliseum. They sold out Madison Square Garden. Yeah, and New Japan is a threat. And you can tell by that recently, because for a long time I did quit watching WWE, the Raw and SmackDown.
I quit for years.
Did you? I started watching.
It wasn't intentional. I had a baby and things just happened. But...
Oh! Trust me, I know how that happens. I know how that is. It's with that level of competition, especially coming out of New Japan, and then Vince trying to buy their talent and all their talent's like, fuck you. They're like, no, they're feeling that heat. They're trying to put on more athletic competitions instead of going out there 5-minute matches, which includes walking down from the back to the ring and maybe put on the 3-minute clinic. I
was watching Raw when Kathy was born.
Oh my.
So
it was also, I don't know. It was just, I went just through a break where I didn't have cable. And I still don't have cable. The only reason I have Hulu is because I can watch wrestling on it. And then I still have to go through and read my Bleacher Report and find out, what I missed in between.
Yeah.
No, I stepped away for a couple of years, and what brought me back is my brother. My brother was like, he calls me Mo. Mo, we haven't watched wrestling in a long time. SmackDown's in Phoenix. I'm getting us tickets. And I didn't have a choice in it. And I was like, you know, Mike, I haven't watched wrestling in like 10 years. Like, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know these people. And he was like, no, I already got you the tickets. You're going. And the first thing was Shane O'Mac's music.
Here goes the money.
And I was just like, what? I lost my mind. And that's the power that WWE has, is you can go without watching it for however long you went. I went almost 10 years. I went to that one live show, and that was it. I've watched every Raw, every SmackDown, and every pay-per-view since. Without a question. That's the power WWE has.
You know, and for me, I had a break. This was when the PG era really was taking over.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, this is when this was when Cena had that bit. This is when Cena was at that point where everybody loved him and I loved him, but then it started going into that cheesy factor of like, oh, we got to appeal more to kids, and that's when I kind of just stopped. And then when I came back, and I was just like, you know, because I went and watched so much more wrestling. He knows I got the High Spots Network. I got Powerbomb TV app. I got the Fight app. I follow everything wrestling-wise I can. And then I kind of came back to WWE, and I'm like, this is what I miss the storytelling. Because I can watch as many great matches as I want, you know, but if there's really no story behind it, it's kind of like, why should I care he won? Like, right.
You're like, I don't even know who to cheer for.
Yeah, I was like,
as I came back and I was like, the Usos, because their music came on. This was the SmackDown I went to. It was the Usos versus a New Day. And I'm like, of course I'm going to go for the Usos. They the gangsters. Like, look at them. They sexy. And everybody else in the crowd was like, New Day, New Day. So, I mean, without that story, you have no attachment. You don't care who wins.
Yeah, and
they're just a bunch of boys hitting each other.
Throwing each other around.
I love the Usos so much, especially they got away from the stupid face paint gimmick and all this and that, because I was just like, Usos since one day ish, and my wife's like, this is so stupid. I was like, it's awesome. It fits them. It's like that's them turned up to 11 as characters. I go, that's what I love about the Usos, is because that's them. Not the face paint, not them playing to the Samoan heritage and whatnot. You know, they're being themselves. And I love Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. I love that so much. But thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, Kyle. This was a lot of fun.
We got to do more of these so we can be more diverse with our audience.
Yes, since we're not diverse enough. I mean, you got a white boy, a half-breed, and, well, 2 half-breeds and a white boy on there, and I guess that's not diverse enough.
Or not diverse enough.
You were apparently missing me.
Apparently.
So, apparently. Well, that'll be remain to be seen. They might be like, okay, you were diverse enough. Go back to just you two. We done.
Yes, and I would love to have you on again, talk more wrestling, you know, and we'll see how this goes. Rasslin Junkie is usually something that used to be every week, then we stopped it. Because one, it was becoming way too much. Recording the social vent, then recording this, and trying to
your 1,001 other projects that I'm trying to keep up with.
Oh, good Lord. And don't you work like 2 jobs and have family and everything else?
Yeah.
I give you credit for everything you do, Kyle.
Yeah, you know, and that's what happened. And it was so bad trying to keep up where I would get frustrated. And you know, this little insight for the fans too is like, I got frustrated because I was doing this at work. Like, I literally was doing a cast. Like, I would go find like 10 minutes, record 10 minutes, come back, go back to work, come back, push back where I started off, try to remember where I left off at, record for another 10 minutes, go back to work, and then I would have a whole 40-minute podcast on just wrestling. Then I would go home, edit it, this and that, go to bed by 11, wake up at 3 a.m., go to work at 4.
Yikes.
Then I told him, I was like, I'm just going to stop it for now. He's like, yeah, please, because it looks like you're killing yourself.
You were, shit. I was like, damn. No, but I was going to come back. Not yet.
Not yet. So this is a very rare and special Rasslin Junkie, and they'll pop up every once in a while. But thank you for coming on. I really mean that a lot. I know we've been talking about it for a while.
For a while now. Ever since you discovered on Facebook that I'm a big wrestling junkie just like you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I made a comment about something, and she automatically was like, oh, it's like, oh, she knows. She knows.
My person.
And I was like, oh my God.
When he was telling me about you, I was like, what? She watches and she pays attention. Holy shit!
You know, I've
this
been
is a rare woman. Fuck.
I've been watching wrestling aside from my little break when I had my daughter since before I could walk and talk. Between my older brothers, my stepdad, my father, like it's always been part of our culture, more for me than football or basketball or anything else.
Same here.
So
Same here.
I love it, and you know, it bothers me when people are like, how can you watch it? It's so fake. Motherfucker, you get in that ring and do it. And then you tell me how fake it is. By the way, your Grey's Anatomy is starting. Like,
Now shut the fuck up.
keep talking to me about what's real and what's fake, Miss Dr. McDreamy. Jeez.
Or the damn what's that other punk ass show that I always hear people say The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. You talking about our shit's fake?
Right.
Please.
Well, and I showed him a clip and I was like, you know, in fact, my favorite clip to show was Mankind being thrown off the top of Hell in a Cell by The Undertaker.
Yeah.
You tell me how exactly that was fake.
He
You
got
tell me. Go ahead.
His
I'm
nose
waiting.
was, he had his tooth in his nose. I actually got to meet McFoley.
You told me about
Yeah, I got to meet McFoley. He was very nice. And he's very funny, too, because I guess he's so fucked up at this point.
Gosh.
Where he's like telling people, like, if I'm looking off this way and not staring at you this way, I have a big problem with this eye because when I busted it in this blah, 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 blah match. He goes, so if it looks like I'm looking this way, I am looking at you, but I have to look this way and divert my eyes from the lights and stuff like that. He's so funny. Yeah, he's just like, and if I'm like talking a certain way, it goes this way, I broke my jaw more than once, you know? But, all right, well, we'll have you on again. This must happen.
Yes.
We must talk about it. We must talk more wrestling because that's what we love. But ladies and gentlemen, would you like to plug anything?
I have absolutely nothing to plug. I'm just here to talk wrestling.
All right.
There you go. Not even Fastlane or who's your pick for the women's tag champs? No, who's your ultimate pick?
This is the Iconics.
I would like to see the Iconics, and
Iconics.
for the reasons that I feel like they are more legitimate tag team.
Yeah.
Women's champ, you know, I would love to see Ronda get her ass beat, even though she's my girl. I love Ronda Rousey, don't get me wrong, but this nice act, that ain't Ronda.
No, that ain't right. I don't like it either. Like
I'm
the whole, like, I
over
still
it.
respect you.
Let's shake hands and let me pat my heart and cry after every single match. No, stop it. So I would like to see her lose because I don't think that while she's on her winning streak, she's ever going to be fully herself.
Yeah.
And so those are mine. That's it.
All right. Phil?
Becky Lynch, because I fucking hate Ronda. I can't stand Ronda. I
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show here. We're done.
She got her ass whipped by Holly Holm. Boy, she sat there and cried and whatnot. And
Well,
thing on her face.
ladies and gentlemen, you can go to cplusstudios.com. cplusstudios.com.
She got her ass whipped by a little Mexican girl after that.
God damn. Like and subscribe and share with everybody. Also, listen to the Social Event podcast that drops every Saturday. Yes, like and subscribe. I'm going to keep saying that because... Yeah. You know, I was going to plug your book, but I'm not. It's over. All right, everybody. That's Rasslin Junkies for this week. I'm Kyle Martinez-Bahi.
I'm Philip Magana.
Now I'm Melissa Perley.
And catch you next time.
The champ!